The strange thing about your 20s is the fact that nobody warns you about how disorienting they can actually feel. You grow up believing that once you became older, the road to freedom is right around the corner. Maybe that freedom is moving out to a new city, pursuing a college education, taking up a job, or maybe acting on that business idea. But when you finally arrive, you realize that they're not everything they were hyped up to be, and it makes you feel uncertain. At first, you're living that time of your life when you realize, hey, I'm becoming my own independent person. I only answer to myself. Take, for instance, the first semester of college. Everything is new, the people are new, the setting is new, the opportunities endless. What can go wrong? I mean, you just got out of high school and worked your ass off to get into college. The only logical thing is to embrace the moment, to celebrate that you did it. Hey, look, Mom, I did it! I'm pursuing a degree! The world is your oyster. Endless lore up ahead. That's great! Until it isn't. That excitement of the first semester eventually dies down. You realize, oh, I have to actually study. Or, oh, 4 more years of college? Great. Or maybe, I need to get out of this dorm room. It becomes much more complicated. You have to manage your own time now. You have to decide for your own. In high school, you were given a schedule to follow. Yes, sometimes it could feel like the worst thing imaginable. But at least it gave you a sense of direction, or at least a routine. Many teachers like to say, in college, they are far more strict. You better get used to it. Sorry. Yet, they couldn't be farther away from the truth. The thing that you're supposed to actually fear is the fact that you decide for your own now. You're the captain of the ship. You must sail your own boat. This boat, well, your life. But how can you actually steer a boat when in reality it's your first voyage? Also, you don't possess any of the traits of a captain. And with no clear direction of where to go, what now? First of all, there are no clear directions. Second of all, there are endless paths to take. And third of all, you can only choose one. Well, at least for this moment. It doesn't mean that you can't go back. And with so much uncertainty, one becomes afraid of actually pursuing anything at all. You become frozen, not because of fear, but because of the number of options you're presented with. You're expected to feel like an adult, but you don't. How can someone actually feel they're a fully grown adult without first living up to be an adult? I mean, you're just getting started. Everyone looks like they have it figured out, they know what you're doing, they look with direction, and they look like they figured it out. Without a care in the world. But the thing is, chaos never stops. You just manage to deal with it more efficiently. When you remove structure, what do you have? Chaos. Not in the sense of, life is chaos, what's the point? No, much more simpler, like a jigsaw puzzle. You have an image of what the final product will look like. You're given a box, and once you open that box, you find out that various pieces of said puzzle are scrambled. When laying them down, what you have is various pieces scattered all over the place. It is your duty to put the pieces back together. At first, it is a complete mess. You don't even know where to start or how to start. But you manage to steer that same chaos into a product that actually takes a shape, into a bigger picture. But in the end, it wasn't chaos which prevented you from building said puzzle. It was the fact that you didn't look for the bigger picture. When we see others doing better than us, the first thing that comes into our mind is, How come I'm so far behind? We constantly compare ourselves to others, thinking that maybe something is wrong with us, that maybe they figured it out. But the truth is, no one has truly figured it out. They're just better at holding their composure. Maybe they're far better in hiding it. But everyone is in a constant battle every single day. And that battle is internal. You can't actually see it from the outside. It's the problem. That's the problem. You believe that just because you can't see the flaws from everyone, it means that everyone is doing great. So the actual question is, are others as lost as they seem confident? Because let's face it, throughout the entirety of human civilization, I can say for certain that there has been at least one person with the same struggles as you. Not trying to undermine your problems, but it is the truth. And you know what? It is great that you're not alone. That there has been dozens of people with the same problems. Because what it means is this: you're not alone. Different actors, same setting. Does it mean the same ending? Not quite. But it means we can follow a same recipe. But most importantly, you don't have to figure it out yet. So what now? How do I structure my life? When in reality, I can't find any structure at all. Well, you take one step, and another step. Eventually, you reach a certain point that seems so far away in the beginning. You don't need structure. You just have to do what you have been doing every single day of your life. To live. It's corny, and it may seem like full BS, but it is the truth. If you see the bigger picture, you realize that these same problems that once seemed like an impossible task were solved. They were solved by you. The same tools that you have at your disposal will be the same tools you will use to fight the next crisis. It's a paradox. How can someone feel so capable yet so unprepared? How can I tell myself that I can do this when I don't know what I'll fend off from? I mean, yes, I have achieved some things in my life, but not anything like this. It's completely fine. The hero doesn't need the best tools. He just needs the best heart and the most courage. You will never know what's up ahead. And what you know is that you were able to defeat greater demons. That same person can do it once again. So, what you're saying is that it is my responsibility? Yeah. Okay, yeah, makes sense. But if it's my responsibility, then why does everything seem so quiet? If we're talking about a hero's journey, then where's my montage? Where's my training arc, my rocky staircase scene? Why does it seem like, I don't know, a normal day? I mean, yes, I know for a fact that the only person that can become better is me. But come on! I need to live like this every day, constantly fighting off that feeling of, I'm behind, I'm not doing enough. What is the actual point of this? Because at least for me, it sounds awful. You're telling me that me, myself, and I are looking forward to the same goals, but we're also looking forward to sabotaging ourselves? Pretty much. It's a constant battle. But every time you tell yourself and that little voice to just shut up, it is one more victory to the book. It might not seem much, but it's honest work. Okay, maybe I'm rambling too much, but now that you realize that, first, you control your life. Second, you're responsible for set direction to take. What do I choose? What if I choose wrong? What if I don't want to choose? Because hey, I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm breaking up my back each day by trying to quiet down this man-child, being me, from sabotaging what we have built. You're telling me to just figure it out? Oh, geez. Thanks. I believe we came back to the same problem from the start. If I can't figure it out, but you're telling me to just figure it out, what are you actually telling me? Does my growth actually matter? Are my actions actually taking me to the place where I want to arrive? I mean, look, maybe. No, it can't be. Can it? Maybe this is what being an adult feels like. Maybe there is no grand answer. Maybe there is no such thing as figuring it out. Maybe being an adult is mostly improvisation. As a kid, you looked at adults with so much certainty, like they possessed every single answer in the world. But now that it is our turn, we realize, hey, maybe they didn't have an absolute clue of whatever this is. Now you're unsupervised for once in your lifetime. You understand that no one will organize your life. That's the strange thing. Becoming the adult that you once looked up to. So now that we have established the core idea, what's next? How can we actually measure that we are becoming the adults that we looked up to? Because let's be honest, when you're a kid, you didn't ask your parents, "Hey, do you guys feel fulfilled?" Oh, well, I hope not. That would be weird for a parent to have to explain to their kid what an existential crisis is. Also, why is my kid asking me this? Shouldn't he be playing with Legos or Minecraft or whatever? It's difficult to have an actual metric of adultness. Because let's face it, we all know of at least one person in our lives that is old, but doesn't act like an actual adult. Key distinction here. Age doesn't equal emotional maturity or being an adult. You can have 50, but still live in the past, acting like you are never going to grow up. And in all honesty, it's a bit sad. I'm not saying that you can enjoy the things that you enjoyed when you were younger. What I'm saying is that you can run away from your responsibilities. You gotta act your part. Yes, you could be goofy. Yes, you can nerd out. But you also need to take into account that there are more things that you now have to solve. So, we don't have a metric. How do we measure ourselves? Well, progress isn't dramatic. Movies, videos, social media, etc. wants us to believe that if you're not driving a Lambo, getting mad bread, and escaping the rat race, you are not progressing. What? Says who? It's dramatic. For a reason. It gets views. It gets your attention. It steals your attention. Because they make you feel like you're doing too little. In reality, you're doing enough. Yes, maybe here and there, you procrastinate. But that fact that you're living a life and breathing and being an actual living creature means that you're trying. No dramatic effect, no cheers from the crowd. It is quiet. No drama. Why? As I mentioned before, everyone is out there fighting their own internal fights. And let alone fights. They're here grinding day in and day out, every single day. Where's the victory scene? There's none. And if you finally get to the point of celebrating achieved said feat, people don't care about the work behind the scenes. They just see a final product, a small fraction compared to the lengthy journey that it took you to get there. This journey may be filled with outgrown people, leaving old habits, setting new goals, looking forward to new things, but most importantly, living your old self. Some friendships may fade away, others may deepen, and it's natural. It doesn't mean that you don't care for them, it means that they're also becoming an adult too. Much like you, they're trying to find themselves, to see if they're actually growing. growing hurts. But just because it hurts doesn't mean that it is wrong. It is the way of life. It's terrifying because you're telling me that my day ones, I'm changing my day ones, may eventually leave? Yes. But you don't have to take it personally. They too are looking for themselves. Next thing you know, one day you and your friends will hang out for the last time. We are all a big project, and the collaborators are the people that came into our lives, like a mosaic or a Frankenstein monster. And along with this, failure is more personal. You may crash and burn, but people are too busy with their own stuff. The things that scared you because people are watching don't feel so important anymore. You're more aware of the implications. Oh, I look pretty dumb doing this. But hey, I don't care. People will just go on with their lives. It's a good thing, because now you don't care so much about the opinions of others. Your standard now is this: what does this mean for me? So, with this newfound freedom, you begin to ask yourself, should I start over? Should I restart? I mean, you can. It's up to you now. You're the one in charge. If I'm in fact becoming someone, who do I want to become? You're now with your own thoughts. Thoughts of, maybe I should become a monk. Or maybe I should go live in the woods. How about if me and my friends save up and travel around the world? What about becoming an athlete? Maybe a martial arts instructor? I could go on and on and on. But that's the thing. Your thoughts are actively shaping you into who you want to become, into whatever you want to become. And it's easier said than done. Because we all want to become someone in our everyday lives. But what we forget is that in order to become that said someone, you have to believe it. Believe! Not in the delusional way of self belief. Believing in the way in which you hold yourself accountable. I believe I can do this. But I also know that in order to do so, I need to do X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of people that believe in manifesting, in asking the world to give them an opportunity. Personally, I don't buy it. Why? Because opportunities are made. You can't sit down all day and manifest yourself into achieving your dreams. What you need is a plan. It doesn't have to be the greatest plan, but once you lay out the basis, you are in for a journey. Not just any journey, a journey of hardships, of sweat, of tears, and maybe blood. Hopefully not. Who knows really? And with that, you can move up a bit. Progress is inevitable. I am inevitable. Even when no one sees it, the only person that you should care about whether you're doing something with your life is you. You can have all the support in the world, but you're the only person that has the final saying in it. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to tell you what to do or who to be anymore. Yes, you may say, my parents want me to become a doctor, a lawyer, heck, even the president. Yeah, they can say it, but they have no saying in it. Yes, it may be much more difficult for others. Maybe you depend on them. So naturally, it is harder for you to choose for yourself. But don't forget, you're not tied. You're able to choose what you want to do. But also, don't forget, you're also responsible for the aftermath of set decisions. If you choose wrong, own it. Don't go around saying, it wasn't my fault. I didn't choose this. Yeah, maybe it wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. So just choose. And even when you feel like, man, I'm so far behind, you're not. Because, in essence, What is being behind? In order to be behind something, something must be up ahead from yourself. But what? What is ahead of you? Who is ahead of you? You see, you're not competing at all. You're in a race of your own. Cliche, yes. Duh. But it's beautiful because no matter how many turns, forks in the road, or obstacles are up ahead, you are not, and I repeat, are not competing against anyone at all. It's like those driving games in which you're trying to beat your own time. You see the ghost figure of your previous run, your adversary, you. So, by building little by little these small victories, you're laying the groundwork for something beautiful. Because it's not the water that cracks the stone, but it's consistency. Sometimes, in order to build, you have to demolish. So, it's always a work in progress. Everything may look fine at a certain point. You feel like you're on top of the world. You're on fire. But you turn around, and even though you felt a certain way, you realize that said progress isn't showing up. What the hell? I felt like I was in the Matrix, that could dodge bullets and hack the system. So why does everything look the same? Well, that's the most annoying part, not seeing the progress. But it doesn't mean that progress isn't being made. It is invisible. Invisible. But it just takes a little adjustment. Tiny extra push. And with that, you break the threshold. You realize that maybe all that invisible work did pay off. That if it wasn't for it, maybe you wouldn't have achieved your goal, your dream. It wasn't a single thing that made it happen. It was a series of endless nights, harsh environments, constant criticism, that sense of uncertainty that never went away. They meant something. Even if they didn't make sense at first, or they made you question, why is this happening to me? It is what they don't tell you, and they expect you to know. Well, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm in the same boat as you. Even though I would like to have all the answers in the world, I don't. But what I can say is this. You're changing, even when you can't see it yourself. And I think it's for the better. Maybe by not being constantly pressured into evaluating how much we have grown, we save ourselves from needing to continuously adjust our way of life. Life is messy. But when you allow yourself to just enjoy the ride, you realize that it is fun. You become more grounded, you become a better human, and you realize that your struggles are what make your life unique. It's a feature, not a bug. I believe your 20s are less about decisions, but more about trajectory. Decisions can take you anywhere. What worked today doesn't mean it will work tomorrow. The landscape is always changing, and alongside it, we change. So no, you don't have to stress so much about making the right call. Instead, focus on where you're headed to, the trajectory of your life. Set a goal, act on it. Don't worry about checking off every single box. There is no such thing as perfection. The most important thing is to keep the goal as your guiding star. Everything else will come, and you will solve it one way or another. And here's the part where it gets tricky. Because here you need to realize one thing. Are you actually living by design or by default? Because being in an autopilot is super easy. You let yourself go. Do the thing that you have always done, and that's that. You become somewhat of an NPC. Same routes, same dialogues, same looks, same everything. You become a background character in your own story. What you say or what you do becomes background noise. But if you act by design, you have creative freedom to film your life any way you want. Does it make sense? I've been a victim of this too. of just being comfortable enough to not act, to stay in the same place I've always been in. Why should I chase other things? I'm happy where I'm at. It's a lie. Comfort is a silent killer. It feels so good. Yet, it is so bad. Because why would I want to spend the remaining years of my life doing the same thing? Life is about creating, about exploring, about loving, losing, winning. Heck, just experimenting. Because if nothing in my life changed, would I be proud of what I have accomplished? About the direction this is going to take me? And most of the times, the answer is no. I wouldn't be satisfied. Because yeah, the direction where I'm going is totally fine. It's comfortable, it's certain, it's easygoing, low maintenance. That's why I need trajectory. Something to look forward to each and every single day. As much as life can be fun, it can also be so boring. I'm a person that likes to work out and go to the gym. But sometimes I despise it because it's the same thing over and over and over again. The trajectory is the same, wanting to be a healthy and fit person. The problem is the decisions that I'm making. Sometimes what you need is to just change a little tiny itty bitty thing. Adding a new exercise to the mix. Heck, going with a gym buddy. Life is what we want to make out of it. It's a scary place, an uncertain place. A place which we are pressured into being the best, the one and the only. But there are false expectations. Because that's the default. That's what worked yesterday. Today, life asks us to do different things. And that's why it can feel so bizarre. Navigating through something so familiar, yet so bizarre. But the small things remain the same. Things such as enjoying a good movie, a good TV series, your favorite video game. Sometimes life is about going back to the basics. Cherishing the little things that make up life. We take it for granted most of the times. We don't understand that we only have one shot. So we have to make it count. So try new things. Set yourself something to look forward to. Hug your loved ones. Cherish the quiet moments. You're doing fine. You're not running out of time. You're just about to begin. Screw the noise. What matters is you do something. Do not become frozen. But most importantly, time moves pretty fast. You can't miss it. Just be you. What matters is you set at least one goal. The next thing you know, you accomplished your goals. You will say, wow, that was X years ago? Damn. One day we will all look back and realize we were living days we couldn't wait to escape. So, where is your life heading to?